Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in this video I want to talk to you guys and comment a little bit about some of the news that have happened with World of Warcraft recently. As somebody who runs a YouTube channel, I'm actually very interested in World of Warcraft news, anything that gets me excited and hyped. With Battle for Azeroth being super exciting second week in a row, and there's even more information coming out from the Q&A that we've recently seen, as well as other information that I kind of want to talk about. Some of the things that we'll talk about are Worgen and Goblin brand new models, talk about how World of Warcraft sales are pretty damn high and the expansion is looking pretty popular, as well as other things that I'm interested in. I feel that this channel in particular, has expanded a little from just rogue PvP, so I'm very excited to talk a bit about the news, talk a bit about all the other World of Warcraft things that I am personally interested in. So I'm just kind of using this as a kind of test footage test video to see if any of you guys would express any interest in that. Leave all your thoughts if this is something you want to see on the channel in comments below. Anyway, let's get into some of the news that I'm super excited about. The first piece of news, let's just get it out of the way, the new Worgen and Goblin models. They are not here yet, we don't have pictures or videos, so they did say that they are committed on working on them in the recent Q&A on the 24th. I'm actually excited because I started the game back in Cataclysm, and when I took a look at the vanilla models of humans, night elves, dwarves, and gnomes, I thought to myself, wow, they look pretty cool, but in contrast with the brand new Worgen and the brand new Goblins, all of the vanilla races felt a little bit kind of animatronic. They didn't feel quite as lively as the brand new Worgen and Goblins with all their, I guess, expressive animations. Blizzard continued to expand on that with Pandarans, and while pandas were a bit laughable at the very beginning before Mists of Pandaria, they did end up having a lot more animations, even some of their unique combat animations before all the combat animations were revamped. They had unique combat animations that made me so badly want to go to Pandaran, but because of the ratios for PvP, I had to stick to human. And as the game went on, they updated the vanilla races back in Warlords Genre, which is you either add a brand new race to the game or you update the existing ones. Now the vanilla races, as well as the allied races on top of that, look nice, shiny, and pretty. And the Worgen and the Goblin are starting to look more animatronic. Like when they talk, it feels that their mouth is just flapping and the animations don't really have nearly as much characteristics to them because we're just so spoiled and used to brand new models. So I'm very excited that they are still considering and sticking to Worgen and Goblin. I'm hoping that we see these guys, maybe some early images by patch 8.1, whenever that happens, or maybe around BlizzCon time. I'm not sure if there's any kind of game conventions that Blizzard is going to be making an appearance in anywhere from now till later. So I'm hoping we see some information, some pictures, maybe even videos of early design and concept art for what they're trying to do for Goblin and Worgen, but I think it's about high time that those guys got an update. Some of the things that are happening in the next week for Tuesday Reset or Wednesday Reset are the necklace is adapting a catch-up mechanic next reset, which is a good thing to see that the necklace is starting to do this right now. This allows for you to catch up your ults or even to grind out your mains, so it's good to see that this is happening early, and we're gonna get to see and experience how this is gonna look. So the way the necklace is gonna work, instead of the artifact power system that we had with our weapons where it allowed us to get a higher number of artifact power from every single quest, instead they want to kind of shrink the numbers. So instead of, let's say, it needing you to get 9,000 Azerite power for the next level, it'll ask you to get maybe 7,500 or maybe down as much as 6,000. So let's say you already have 8,000 saved up, but you need 8,000 more in order to get a level. As soon as the Tuesday or Wednesday reset happens based on region, then it will just give you the level, and a little bit of Azerite that you have will spill over into the next level. And speaking about Azerite, we'll also be able to finally trade Azerite gear to one another if we don't need it at the end of a dungeon. Have you ever done a heroic in a dungeon and you felt like, okay, the first 2 bosses didn't give me anything, so the last boss only gives me Azerite pieces, but I already have the good shoulders, the good helmet, or maybe a decent chest piece, and I don't need anything from this boss? There is that urge to just want to leave the dungeon. So Blizzard decided to make Azerite pieces tradable now, and of course they'll still work with the whole setup of if it's a higher item level upgrade for you, it won't let you trade. If it's not an upgrade for you on item level, then you can trade it. This will allow groups in order to help each other gear, but also it'll make it so that if you get a piece of gear and if you don't need to use it, someone else can use it, and you won't need to really just fill up your bags and then scrap it for material. it just didn't make any sense for you not to be able to trade it. It just seemed like a good idea maybe at first, maybe on paper, that hey, everybody's gonna want to get all their traits available, but with how fast we farm them, I literally have a whole back slot full of Azurite pieces, and I don't really need them. I'm not sure if I want to trade them. I don't know if you want to scrap them. Maybe I'll actually need certain traits at a later time, but there's one set that I have, and so far I haven't really had to change it for this whole week so far, starting Wednesday. I got all the pieces I needed, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm set, and I just have a bunch of pieces that are sitting, and I don't really need to interchange them. So I guess it's a good change that they're making on Tuesday. So if you are getting a piece of gear, or if somebody else gets a piece of gear and they don't need that Azure bonus, feel free to ask them in case you can snag it. The second piece of news is, well, should probably be the biggest one and probably will be the title of this video, is the fact that on August 14th, more than 3.4 million units of the latest World of Warcraft expansion were sold worldwide. Blizzard is touting as this is the biggest sale in a single day for any expansion ever, which actually gets me super excited because of Battle for Azeroth and its kind of rocky start that it had, like creeping into the scene after Legion. Some people were happy, some people were not. People questioning the story, people questioning the characters, the content, and some even saying that it kind of feels like Legion, just an extra patch of Legion post Legion. So it is super great to hear that it sold as many units as it did, although the unit price, I will tell you right now, does not really account for how many people are subscribed. It says it sold 3.4 million units. It doesn't mean that it has 3.4 million subscribers, but then again, let's be honest, it's hard to tell exactly how many people are playing because we don't have the numbers anymore. They stopped giving those numbers sometime in Warlords of Draenor when they were at their lowest since any of the other expansions at about 4.6, 4.5, 4.4, and numbers can vary depending where you look. But it is actually very exciting for me to hear that Battle for Azeroth is so far has had a successful week, besides, you know, the lag and people trying to log in, and the fact they decided to have worldwide event where everybody, no matter if you're NA, EU, RU, AU, China, Korea, everywhere can log in at the same time. So of course it's going to be expected that you will have some technical issues, but it's not nearly as bad as Warlords of Draenor. I feel like as long as you didn't have a launch as bad as WoD, where you did it region by region by region, then you're fine. And they definitely beat out WoD with their launch. Even though it was a little shaky, it still worked out just fine. And I'm just excited that it had as much of success as it did. The reason why I am excited is because Blizzard have used other stories like BC and Wrath of the Lich King. You're using already predetermined characters and storylines in order to craft the expansion that came from the Warcraft 3 series. So you had already ideas and stories to kind of fall back on and build expansions from. After Wrath of the Lich King, they started doing a lot of their own original ideas like Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor, which was really just kind of a slow, steep decline downhill, especially during Warlords of Draenor. I mean, there was a huge hike up of people coming back for orcs, but afterwards it was just a steep decline right afterwards. But then Legion emerged, and it was technically an original story, but it harped on some of the old school ideas, like bringing Illidan back, bringing Sargeras back, bringing the demon threat back, a lot similar to BC, but it's in their own crafted story. They even brought Lich King back for certain artifact weapons, and they added the artifact weapon system, so it was like they kind of had some of the semblances of other expansions, or even some of the main characters of other expansions, but then trying to take the game in a new direction. With Battle for Azeroth, they don't really have Illidan or Arthas to fall back on. They have Jaina, they have Sylvanas, they have Zandalari and the Kul Tiran, so a lot of the story is their own original crafted story after the events that they've built up from pre-patch. So I'm excited to see that the expansion is having such a good start at the beginning, since it is their own custom-made story. And I'm hoping that the expansion continues. If it has nearly as much content, if not more, as Legion did, then I think the expansion will be pretty exciting. If the story takes us to places we've never seen before and offers some new awesome concepts and ideas, and how they tie in Jaina and Sylvanas and even Queen Azshara, I think on today it should be releasing the trailer for Queen Azshara by the time I put this video out. So I'm very interested to see exactly where it's all going to go, but I'm very excited that it had a very nice launch at the beginning, at least in the sales numbers. It reassures me that there's a potential for this expansion to be really freaking good. Anyway guys, I think that'll be enough for all the news for today. Thank you so much for popping into this video. Let me know if this is something you want to see on the channel at all. I am actually very interested in covering the news. I used to do this way back on the channel when I didn't even have 200 subscribers. I used to go to the forums and just kind of discuss whatever was popular topic on the forums and give my opinion. In the same forum post, I would talk about buffs and nerfs for certain classes, what my thoughts were, and I'm actually just excited about World of Warcraft news in general. So if you guys wouldn't mind seeing maybe like a weekly kind of update videos from the channel on just news when it comes to World of Warcraft stuff I personally found exciting, let me know that in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.